Hey everyone, it's SM_LexLoves and I'm back to do my long-awaited video of both my small size reissue and my old medium Chanel Boy So Black head-to-head, just to give you guys a comparison of the two. Sorry, I can't seem to get them to fit in the frame, but I decided now that I've had these bags for about a week or two, well, the reissue I've had for about 2 weeks, the Boy I think I've had for almost a month now, maybe a little bit less. I figured I would kind of give my thoughts on both because both are approximately about the same size, and I think that if you cannot find the Boy, or if you're in between the Boy and the reissue, because the price points are very similar, the Boy is actually a little bit more expensive than the reissue. I figured like this video would help you out. So let's get started. So just to give you a quick overview, both bags have approximately the same strap drop. Sorry, it's like tiring to hold both. So both double strap is going to be approximately 10 inches, and then when you have them single strap, it's going to be 20 inches or so. The reissue does seem a little bit longer depending on how you hook it, just because it has the 4 grommets. So if you pull it so that it's strapped from the front, it looks a little bit longer, whereas if you strap it from the back side, it looks a little bit shorter, just like a tad, but it's never something super noticeable. It's still the same exact strap drop, as the Boy, okay? So other than that, and the dimensions are about the same as well. It's going to be 10 inches in length, 6 inches tall, and approximately 3 inches wide. I do say the reissue is just a little bit smaller, just because it does have that double flap, as you can see right here, and it tapers at the top. So you do fit a little bit less between both bags. And let me show you kind of what I put in my bags. So right now I'm currently using my Chanel Boy because it's Casual Friday, hence I have no idea what I'm wearing today. So I'm using my Boy today. And so let's see what I currently have in it. And I just currently carry the essentials. I will show you what it looks like because right now it's so messy in there, you're not going to be able to tell what is even in there. So lip gloss, of course, my Buxom by Dolly, or Buxom and in the shade Dolly. My 4 key clay with the L zip to hold like my headphones, medication. Hand sanitizer because, when you're a microbiome major in your past, you need hand sanitizer. I also have hand wipes and all types of other things in my vehicle because I'm such a freak. And I've also been super duper loving my Louis Vuitton Empreinte clay. I usually use my Chanel bifold, but I forgot how much I love this one just because I carry cash now because I've been needing it while I go out and about. So definitely loving this one, and I love that it's very slim. I tend to like my things on the slimmer side. Sorry if I sound funny. I have allergies right now, so I feel like I sound really nasally. And then last but not least, my keys. And of course, my massive 6 Plus phone with a pretty decent size case on there. And then that about sums up what goes in here. So let me just show you quickly when I put everything in, what it all looks like. And I just kind of throw it all in there. There's no really rhyme or reason. I never really have a rhyme or reason to how I pack my bags. I just do. So just throwing everything in there however it all wants to fit. Okay, so I'll take my lip gloss out so I can show you what is in there. So if you look right now, you see there, it's going to see the silver zip is the 4 key holder. You see my Empreinte clay. You see my phone all the way in the back. I put my keys facing up vertically so it goes in like that. And then I have my, it fell down. And then I have my hand sanitizer right in that corner there. And I still have room to put lipstick and stuff, and then I'm just going to go ahead and drop my little lip gloss in there. And I am a glasses wearer, so if you want reference, these are pretty large spectacles, honestly. I wear really big ones. And I can easily just toss them right in there, right on top. And it hooks closed like no problem. Except, my hair gets stuck in there. So yeah, that's what I have. Oh yeah, and of course, it's new little friend that I opened up in the mail today. This is my Pegasus charm by Leather Prince. I custom colored it to be like gold leather, and then he chose the color of the wings. Very pretty. And there's like a blue saddle, if you see that in there. Very pretty. I love all his charms. I have like 4 now. So that's what I comfortably fit in the Chanel Boy, and it could possibly fit maybe like a pack of tissues. Maybe. yeah, for the most part, I still have a little bit of room to go up, but I don't like usually stacking up in my bags. I like everything to just lay down at the bottom, and whatever fits is what fits. I don't like to go up just because I don't like digging through my bag. That drives me insane. So that's what goes into the Chanel Boy. And so I guess now you guys are all curious about what goes in this beautiful beauty here in my reissue. So the leather is slightly different on this reissue. This is going to be sheepskin, whereas the other one is grained lambskin, and I'll do an up-close shot of that right now to show you. I'm sorry this video is a little everywhere, but I don't want to talk about one bag and then go straight into the next bag. I'd rather talk about together at the same time. So then here is the grained lambskin. It actually feels quite durable. Honestly, I think they're going to be about the same in durability, just because even though this is textured for the reissue, it's a smoother kind of leather. So I do think they'll show wear about the same, but these both seems like really, really hardy leathers, so I'm not too worried about any wear. Also, I had lots of questions about the hardware. So this hardware isn't plated, if that's the correct term to use. It's very shiny, so it definitely feels like the metal is actually black. It's not like a coat that's on top or anything like that. So I don't think I'm going to have any chipping problems, and I haven't, and I've been more or less kind of careless. Not because I am careless, just because I've been in a rush and I just clunked that stuff down. But for the most part, it seems like it's okay. I mean, obviously fingerprints and stuff like that since it's shiny hardware, but haven't had any issues with the hardware or the leather. The only issue that I have is that naturally these flaps want to tilt up. So it does that on the reissue. It also does that on my boy. I didn't notice it on my boys in the past. I think it's just these leathers. You see how it kind of flops up? But I think that's pretty natural of the bag. If that's like your biggest concern, then I think not bad for a Chanel bag, considering I had some mishaps in my last one. So let me just go ahead and switch all my items back out. So because of the way the reissue tapers, it doesn't fit quite as much. I think, in my opinion, maybe it fits like one item less, just because of the way its closure is. So let me just go ahead and open it up. Again, the Mademoiselle lock is a little bit more finicky. So of course, let me just show you what the inside of this one looks like. So in the boy, you only have one flat pocket, and it's just one big compartment. Whereas in the reissue, just like classics, you have a nice little decent slip pocket here. Of course, the double flap, this zippery flap, which I never use. I don't think anyone uses it, honestly. I don't know what you would use it for. I guess if you want to put like a ticket in there or something, like when you're traveling, like for ballet or something. But then, like, you already have this pocket, and then you have this pocket in the back. So I don't know why you would use the zipper pocket. Honestly, I think it kind of like destroys that part of the double flap. So I try to not close it when I store it. When I store it, it literally stays like this, and it's just stuffed on the inside. Just because I don't want to stress this out. I think his name is Super Jacob, and he puts his little felt right in between here. So that's what I'm going to start doing, just because I don't like the zipper making the indent there. But anyways, here's the inside. So trying to get the lighting there. There we go. So on the inside, just like classic flaps, you have the lipstick holder in the middle, and then you have the two leather pockets there. I generally don't use those for anything, just because I have everything in SLGs. I don't need pockets in my bags, more or less. So let's go ahead, it's enough with the chit chat, and let's put all my stuff in there. Of course, my iPhone goes right in. The On Product Clay, I tend to be a little bit more careful with this bag just because it is a leather interior. I like leather interior, and I don't like leather interior. Leather interior is great. It's easy to clean. However, it does get scratches, and I wouldn't say it's the best to maintain. Sorry about the key noise. Of course, my key clay. And just to mention, I do have a relatively large Acura key fob in there, if y'all are familiar. And I have a couple keys. I just don't put cards in here. Once I put cards in here, it doesn't close or it doesn't mold. You see how it's kind of distorted a bit to the keys. So I'm going to throw that in there. And just like my boy, I do store it, or place it vertically up. And then my little, what is this? 4-key holder with, headphones, medication, yada yada. Just throw that in there. Hand sanitizer goes right in there. Lip gloss and glasses. But I'm going to keep my glasses out for now because I have a feeling it won't close. So this is what everything looks like. See the 4-key clay there, the empreinte clay, my phone, my keys going vertically up, and I still have maybe like half an inch till it gets to the top. Hand sandy, yep, so that's everything. So when I do close this bag is a little bit harder to close, unlike the boy. So because it's tapered, when I close it, I kind of go like that. I like push it in so that it's just easier for me to just bring this flap down. And I know that sounds like a little bit of extra work, but if you compare between the boy and the reissue, for the boy, you kind of have to hold the bottom of your bag to get the flap over to get it into the lock anyway. So for me, I just kind of squeeze here and close. So to me, it's about the same amount of difficulty to get the flap down. It's this part that's the hard part. It's getting it and aiming it into the lock. And ta-da! So you get it closed. The lock is a little bit different, and I'll discuss that in just a second as to why I think the reissue is a little bit more finicky to get into, unlike the boy. So it closes pretty nicely. If anything, it closes perfectly. Let's go ahead and see if my glasses go in there. Usually my glasses don't go in my bag just because they're on my face, but let me just lop those right on top. And I don't think this bag should have any problems. So honestly, these bags have just about the same in capacity. So what I was saying, so now that we both know that about the same thing fits in both bags, I'm going to go ahead and say between the boy and the reissue, I want to say that my reissue is a little bit harder to get into, and let me explain to you why. It's a little bit harder to get into because the locking mechanism is a little bit larger. So let me go ahead and unlock it. So if you go ahead and look at the reissue lock, that's a good like inch of lock that you kind of have to aim for in this opening. Whereas if you look at a boy, you have half an inch and 1 hole. So there's that. So I do find the reissue a little bit hard to get in and out of because the boy is very easy. You can just kind of, what I do is I hold it, aim for it, close, and then, let go. And that's about it. Whereas the reissue, I'm like, okay, I need to aim for the opening. I need to turn the lock. So there's that. Other than that, so now that we've kind of figured out that both bags can fit about the same, I want to say now that I've owned both and I've worn both on and off, I'm going to go ahead and say I do favor the boy a little bit more. I do find it more comfortable to wear because it does have this leather break on its strap, whereas the reissue, as beautiful and lovely as this chain is, it gets heavy. Not because the chain itself is heavy. It is a little bit heavier than the boy chain, I will say that. It's because you don't get a leather break. So all of the weight that is in this bag is on this chain. Whereas when you have a boy and you have I'm sorry for the noise, for the leather break here, it's softer, so you don't notice how heavy your bag is. Whereas on the reissue, there's nothing to cushion it out. This is all the weight you get, and this is all the weight you feel. So that's definitely my thoughts on the bag when it comes to weight. So as to which one I favor the boy more, and I think it's mainly because of comfort. I do find the lock on the reissue a little bit cumbersome. See, I'm kind of fidgeting around with it to get it closed. That, and I think I'm also a perfectionist, so I don't want to scratch my bag. So that's also probably that too. But I will say the boy is definitely way more comfortable. And you do feel the weight on the reissue. However, I think the reason, if you're contemplating between both and weight isn't a problem for you, if you're used to like jumbo flaps or any of the classic flaps, the reissue is going to be fine for you. To me personally, I think anything with kind of the metal chain, so the classic flaps, the minis, the walks, I always feel the weight of the bag on my shoulder because there's nothing like cushiony and soft. I'm kind of used to like having LV bags where it's always a leather strap. So for me, I favor the boys because of that, because I favor kind of the comfort. And more or less, I do find my style is more casual, so I do gravitate toward the boy. Now that being said, if you're looking for a dressier bag or you don't mind chains, if you're used to chains on all your bags, by all means, the reissue is definitely the bag to get. I love the reissue. I think it is so gorgeous. It is so pretty. It can be dressy and it can be casual, whereas I find my boy bags all the time, it's always personally casual. I can dress this bag up and down, and I have worn it out on dressier occasions, but I do think if I'm having a beautiful dress, or let's say I'm wearing a really nice tailored suit, which is kind of what I wear whenever I do dressier functions or dresses, or cocktail functions, I would 100% take the reissue. There's like no question about it. I would just grab the reissue. I won't even look at the boy. So if you're contemplating between both, I think you really need to question what are you going to use it for? Do you want a bag for dressier occasions? Do you want a bag for longer outings? Sorry. If you're looking for a bag for longer outings or like journeys, not the reissue. Unless you're used to chains. If you're okay with classic flat chains all day, every day, or you're used to a jumbo, honestly, the reissue is going to be a cakewalk for you. I think the jumbos are so heavy. I could never own one. They're so beautiful. I just can't own them. And I want a classic fat, but the straps are so short. So definitely if you're looking between both, I would determine what you're going to use it for. Dressier occasions, or if you want something that's a little bit more subtle, for sure, get the reissue. And if weight isn't a problem for you, or you don't have bad shoulders, the reissue is for you. If you are more casual, if you are more edgy, if you are just kind of like that sneaker chic kind of girl, this is kind of the bag for you. Honestly, I think the boy is the perfect bag for someone who is very casual, very just kind of sporty in their attire. This is kind of what I would go for. I definitely wouldn't wear this to a really formal function, maybe to like happy hour, maybe to go out at night, like with the girls or something. Yes, it is definitely appropriate, but not for like a really big, like, I guess like networking function. I would always take my reissue, just because, again, the reissue is also, in my opinion, a way more subtle bag. The only person who would know that this is a Chanel is obviously someone who adores Chanel. So that's just kind of my thoughts on the bag. So let me go ahead and do a quick modeling shot because I feel like I've been talking for way too long and this is a really drawn out video. So let's go ahead and do quick mod shots and I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm back to do the mod shot. So just for reference, sorry, I have the coffee table in the way and this is just kind of where the lighting is, so this is what's it's going to be. I'm approximately 5'6", about 120 pounds. I'm wearing like mid-rise jeans like I always do, just like a regular shirt and a cardigan. So this is going to be kind of like my casual Friday kind of look. And so let me go ahead and show you. Like I said, long waist for both bags, it is approximately a 20-inch drop. Generally, I like to hold my reissue with the chain on the back. And so let me go ahead and show you. So for shoulder length, this is, let me go ahead and push my cardigan to the back. This is shoulder. So this is about 20 inches. So I have my boy on this side, and this is where my denim is, if that gives you a reference for mid-rise jeans, and that's just where it hits me. Let me go ahead and show you the reissue. Same, this is where my jeans hit, and this is where my reissue is. So as you can see, they're approximately about the same length in all reality. It just kind of has an illusion depending, like I said before, where the grommets are, or where the chains are in the grommets. So this is what it looks like shoulder wear. And I think it looks both great, looks nice both ways. Personally, with this outfit, I would probably, depending on where I'm going, if I'm going on errands or like I know I'm going to be out for a long time, I'll take the boy. If I'm going on a short thing, if I'm going shopping or something, or because this cardigan is thicker, I will grab my reissue because I know it's not going to be a big thing. But yeah, this is kind of like a casual kind of outfit. Let me go ahead and show you what it is crossbody. Because I'm about 5'6", I wouldn't say this is the most ideal crossbody. This is where my jeans are, and this is where the bag hits. It's where they both hit, actually. So they're not the perfect crossbody. To me, crossbody would be just maybe like an inch or two lower, but they do work. So if you are, running, my hair is everywhere. If you are running about and you by chance, just because you really need your hands to be free, you can crossbody these bags depending on what you're wearing. I personally think the crossbody is okay, because these bags can be in a dressier situation. I think shorter crossbodies are more appropriate. So my cardigan is just in the way. It's not working with me today. So this is just kind of how they look crossbody. Let me go ahead and crossbody it to the back, because I know a lot of people like to crossbody their bags in the back. I personally don't do that, but I can see why some people do. It just kind of ends up that way. So this is what it looks like on the back. This is where my jeans are. This is where my bum apparently is. So it's just like right halfway of where like your butt would kind of be. So this is what they look like crossbody. You just go ahead and bring them back up. Generally for these bags, I don't think I generally wear them crossbody. I like the option of having the crossbody, and I like that they're longer straps since they are about 20-inch drops, whereas classic flaps are shorter. When I had a classic medium large, it would go to here, so when I crossbody, it was like up here. So I think the Reissue is a better buy, in my opinion, if you're looking between classic flaps and that's kind of your thing. For sure, the Reissue So Black is what I would go with. Again, if you want something more casual, I would get the boy. So here are my mod shots. Hopefully I answered some questions for all of you regarding these two beautiful bags. Get closer for y'all to see. They are absolutely gorgeous, and I couldn't really tell you if I like one more than the other. I like them both for two different reasons. I just gravitate to use the boy more often than I do the Reissue, but that doesn't mean I like it more. I definitely think for people who are, we're big bag addicts, just because we don't always use a bag doesn't necessarily mean we don't love it. It's just some of them are just a little bit more practical for us depending on our lives. If you're always a dressy person, go with the Reissue. If you're always casual like me, to me, this is like dressed up for me. I personally am the type of person, this is as dressed up as I get, unless I have to dress up. And that's usually because someone's paying me to for my job or something. But yeah, hopefully I answered some questions for you. If you all have anything else to ask me or would like to know, please feel free to drop me a comment down below or subscribe to me on Instagram at follow me on Instagram at sm_luxlove, and I'll answer any questions for you. Other than that, sorry, the sun is setting, so they're in the way now. So yeah, these are my bags. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!